Rebel Force Radio presents
Star Wars Cantina.
Where are you going, Master?
For a drink.
Sorry about the mess.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
What's up, broskies?
Hey, what's up, Jason? How's it going, man?
I'm good, man. I'm just chilling. I was trying to go and do stuff. I don't know. My wife and I bought a new house, and we have a studio in here. Set up all new stuff. You know what I mean? We're like, the mother-in-law brought a lemon tree, and we're buying locks and hangers and pieces and stuff. I just got my alarm system set up so suckers can't break in. Nang.
A lemon tree?
Yeah, for some reason, the wife wanted a lemon tree.
This, of course, is Jason Mewes, better known to most people as Jay of Jay and Silent Bob fame, and all-around good guy, and you know, a very prolific podcaster yourself. You're out there on the Sir Network, doing all kind of shows with Kevin Smith.
I'm pretty excited because JC and I. JC, do they know you're on and involved?
Oh yeah, they know.
Okay, so
there's JC. Right. All right.
Well, I didn't know if they knew he was I didn't know if you guys knew he was in the background with his own microphone. But anyway, JC and I, pretty much, and Matt Cohen, and get to sort of run the show and be part of it. And really, JC most of all, because he's editing and doing all sorts of crazy business. But I'm really excited because we get to, we're doing Muse News, and then we're doing a bunch of other stuff. Cartoons get old, all these different things. And then as time goes on, we'll start adding other stuff to it. Like I have some good ideas I want to do. And so I'm excited, man. I'm hopefully a bunch of people start watching it, and we'll have a lot of people tuning in. So
Jay, you remember seeing Star Wars for the first time, don't you?
I do, but I can't. You know what? I remember seeing all of them sort of for the first time, but I wouldn't say I remember the whole time, because I remember my grandma brought me to see it. It had came out again. I didn't get to see. What I'm trying to say is I didn't get to see the original one. I remember I got to go see the sort of remakes, not the remakes, but the
re-release in like 79 or 80.
the digital, of course, which again, because I'm but what did they remaster?
I mean the special edition.
Special edition.
Yes, I'm trying to spit it out. I couldn't think of what they did to it. They did the special stuff to it.
Right.
So that's the last time I remember. I gotta admit, as much as I love the movie, I'm pretty burnt from my past. So, but I do so that's a fog. But I do remember my grandma telling me I had to clean my foreskin.
What?
I swear, when I was younger, right, I don't have a hooded monster, but I sort of have a little bit. There's just a little bit of extra skin there, and like I'm circum, but I have a little bit of extra. And I remember I found lint in there when I was younger.
Oh.
My grandma told me that I had to peel it back and clean it. And I'm not trying to be filthy, but I'm just saying that's the weird stuff I remember, like stuff like that. Getting caught with the vacuum, putting my inside of the vacuum and my grandma catching me. But I can't remember the awesome times, necessarily every awesome event, like going to see it when I went to see it and what occurred during that, except for that my grandma brought me, of all people. It was a surprise, her and my brother. I remember going to see Star Wars. It was the weirdest thing. My grandma brought me to see that with my brother, and also Indiana Jones I remember going to see with her. So, but
there you go. Brings back fond memories of grandma.
Yeah, grandma's taught me a few things and brought me to see some few things. So anyway, but
you, of course, have a connection to Star Wars because, well, anytime you turn on TV or watch a movie these days, it's like you see or you hear a reference to the Star Wars films. But back in the early 90s, when you guys made Clerks, that sort of occurrence was rare. And Clerks had the famous scene featuring Dante and Randall debating about the Death Star construction workers and all that. And in my opinion, that really brought the Star Wars references back in the mainstream pop culture, into the mainstream pop culture spotlight. And then Kevin continued writing those references into just about every screenplay he touched since then. And so you made some classic Star Wars mentions, some incredible Star Wars references. I have top 3 Jason Mewes Star Wars references. My first one, this example here, I got an audio example. This is from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Call me Darth Balls. Bong!
Lord. Yes.
Balls. So, of course, like I said, this being a family program, that can't be the number 1, but that's the number 3.
And that was besides the reference. I mean, it was how amazing. For me, it was so amazing that I got to actually lightsaber fight with Mark Hamill. I mean, it's every boy's dream.
It's my dream.
Not every boy's dream, but I would say a good handful of young boys out there. So it was really pretty awesome to get to do that. And then, of course, later on in the movie, getting to be in the car with Princess Leia, of course. And you know what happens there because this is a family program.
You live by the book, too?
Well, you picked us up, didn't you? I gotta.
Well, that's good to hear. But it's a lot easier to say that you live by the book than to actually do it. Can you do it?
All right.
So fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
But you were with Mark Hamill on the set there, and you guys, did you, what kind of like choreography work did you have to do, or did you just sort of wing it?
No, we did. There was the stunt guys went through because I wanted to have. I wanted to try to somewhat look cool. First off, I tried to do after I say that, actually Chronic character, tries to he flips over the railing, and I wanted to do that stunt myself. I was like, man, I can do it. I want to do it. And at that time I was sober off the drugs, but I had been drinking a bunch at that point. And I just was like overweight, water weight, like on the average, I'm about 175 pounds. And just to give an example, from all the drinking and the water weight, I was about 195 pounds. So I was like really out of shape. And I thought it would be easy to do that flip. And we put on I went on the cables and was trying to do the flip and land on my feet and stuff. And I attempted it about 10 times, couldn't do it. So the stunt guy's like, I'm going to have to do it, which is a bummer because I was like, man, how cool would that be? But the actual sword fighting, I was like, all right, if I can't do the flip myself, I got to at least really try hard to make the sword fighting look cool. So we practiced a bunch, and I tried to put in a little bit of my own stuff. I was like, what if I do this? What if I grab I turn off the bong saber and I take a hit from it and all that. So, it was cool. I got to bring a little bit of my own stuff and try to make it look as cool as possible. But, I don't know how good of a job I did actually with the sword play, how cool it was. But
it looked cool to me. You got the right reaction out of Mark Hamill.
Don't fuck with the Jedi Master, son.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that was really awesome. Sorry, you're bringing back memories. It was so much fun doing that scene. So
cool. Well, that's what this is all about. Let's cruise down memory lane again. Here's the number 2 in our top 3 all-time Jason Mewes Star Wars references. This comes from the Clerks cartoon.
Man, it's cold in here. Like that planet Hoth in Empire.
We've already made that Star Wars reference.
If we had a lightsaber, I could snick, snick, snick. Whoa, Jedi! Slice up Tubby here, and we can crawl inside him and stay warm for the night.
Let me out!
Yes.
So you, of course, were talking about Silent Bob there. And so do you think if you actually cut open Silent Bob that it would smell as bad on the outside as it does on the inside?
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
No, I think, you know what? It would probably smell pretty decent because I would imagine like I see him eating. Well, I don't want to say. I'd like to say he eats sweets, cupcakes and stuff. So I would think it would smell like icing and fruity pebbles and such.
Pretzel M&Ms.
Yes.
So that was from the Clerks cartoon. You guys did that for. I think you did a season on ABC of that. Was that a cool experience for you? Actually, just voicing the character of Jay, not actually portraying him on camera.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, getting to go in and just sit there and go over the dialogue and do the, just do animation and it not even. It's like not worrying so much about putting on wardrobe and being here and doing it over and over and over and whatever. So doing the animation was great. It was 6 episodes and it's a bummer. I really think the cartoon was before its time because, it was before Futurama, before any of these other cartoons besides, of course, The Simpsons. But I think there was like The Simpsons and I think really that's it. I can't even say there was Family Guy yet. So I'm just saying I feel that Clerks was before its time and they had 6 episodes. They aired 4, I believe, and then they cut it off. So it's a bummer, but we are making a new animation movie. It's called Jay and Bob's Groovy Animated Movie, Cartoon Movie. And it's going to have a bunch of awesome stuff in it. So hopefully you will know more about that soon. I've already got like about 20 minutes of it animated and voiceovers, and I got a bunch of cool people doing voiceover stuff. Neil Gaiman, John Lovitz, some cool stuff. So look out for that.
Awesome. And hopefully there'll be some cool Star Wars references in there and we can play the audio.
Of course.
Now, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The number 1 Jason Mewes Star Wars reference. This one comes from Dogma.
I feel like Han Solo, you're Chewie, and she's Ben Kenobi, and we're in that fucked up bar.
Yes.
So that was you two guys sitting there in a diner. Was that where were you? Were you guys in McHenry, Illinois? You were in search of John Hughes's birthplace, Shermer, Illinois, because there were hot babes from there. Or no, that what was that? Chasing Amy. They're all a blur for me.
Oh no, it was. We were on our way to go. We were searching it out. That was our mission. We had a, and then right after that we talk about what we're doing. We're like, it's that whole scene. It's a long scene actually too, with a lot of explanation. You'd still talk about it, Jason.
Yeah, I was going to say that at the end of Chasing Amy is when you guys go out and search for Shermer, Illinois, which is my hometown, and then Dogma is kind of the story of you guys. That's your quest within that movie.
Wait, you're actually from Sherman, Illinois?
Yeah.
Northbrook.
Yeah, no, it's called Northbrook in real life, but it used to be called Shermer. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, man. I'm like your destiny. It was.
I got what I can back him up on that, Jay, because I too am from Northbrook, Illinois, known as Shermer. Actually, the connection it has in the Breakfast Club, when it's where John Hughes grew up, and he says Shermer, Illinois, zip code 60062. That's the actual zip code for Northbrook, and Hughes actually shot a lot of those films in our neighborhood.
Really? So, do you remember seeing that? Like people like
no, I was too young.
He's too young, right? Yeah.
No, I do. I was in high school when those Hughes movies were being shot and they came out. And yeah, I saw them shooting it. I was working at a place called Northbrook Court where they shot some scenes for Weird Science. And I was working there when they were shooting the stuff in the mall. And then you guys mentioned in Chasing Amy, or maybe it's Dogma. Like I said, those two movies kind of blend in together for me a little bit when it comes to Jay and Silent Bob. But you say, yeah, we came and we're looking for Shermer, Illinois. We've been all over this state, and it's a place where all these hot chicks are, and it just doesn't exist. The place doesn't exist. And I was just laughing my ass off because I was thinking, me and JC are from there.
Jersey's pretty far from McHenry. May I ask what brought you here?
Some fuck named John Hughes.
16 Candles, John Hughes?
You know that guy, too?
So those are the top 3. I picked Dogma is my number 1. Han, Chewie, and that effed up bar.
Yeah, I like it.
Those are
I like all three of them. They're good. The, number 3, Darth. I guess can you, yeah.
What is it? Darth?
I guess because you played the audio and he says it right.
Yeah.
Bong.
Darth Balls.
Balls.
Call me Darth Balls. Bong!
Yeah, Darth Balls. Bong.
You look at that stuff on a script page, and it just kind of like you say, yes, this is my line. This is my dialogue. I feel this line.
Yeah, no, it was awesome when I read it and I got to say that, and it is cool to go back and see, because when you read it and how it comes out, like Mark Hamill's thing when he goes, what's his line in that scene right there? He says something and then he laughs. Shoot, man, it's really bumming me out because his. I'm going to try to find it if I can really quick on my computers. But he says something and he does the Joker laugh, which is amazing. Like, he's the voice of the Joker, as I know you must know.
Of course.
And how amazing is his laugh, the whole, he does that in that scene. Let's see.
So you kind of get the best of Mark Hamill in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back in that scene.
Totally.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of reminding me a bit of the Trickster, the villain he played on the old Flash TV series, the live-action series that predates. JC, you might be too young for that. Do you remember seeing any of those?
I remember that. I love that. I remember when they announced, because that was like the dark days of Star Wars. Right? And, any mention of Star Wars was awesome. And I used to watch that Flash show. I was probably like 7 or 8. Yeah. And I remember when they announced Mark Hamill's going to guest star, I freaked out because...
My God, it was Luke Skywalker, and he was back on TV. I remember the same thing with the Amazing Stories, the Steven Spielberg series, and Mark Hamill did an episode of that. We need to find that, Jim.
Can I play this real quick?
Yes.
Hopefully you can hear it. Let's see.
All right, this is Mark Hamill and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Thought I'd never find your precious blunt cave, did you, M. Night? Now, you and your sidekick are finally in the grasp of...
That's what it is, that little laugh, and I think he does it again after, but that is when he's like, he I don't know, his laugh to me is amazing.
It kind of had a little Frank Gorshin Riddler vibe to it.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
We heard that too. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Jay, you're a hardcore gamer, like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. Did you ever play any of the old Star Wars role-playing games, like from West End?
No, I haven't. I really want to play the... every time I pass it in the store, I want to get it. But the Old Republic, it's called.
Yeah.
It looks really cool to me, but I haven't really got in. I got into a piece. The only game I played on the PC really is Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle Earth. I played constantly for a good year. I swear it took over my life. It was so much fun. But I mainly play the Xbox games, and I don't really play. I play a little Star Wars Lego. But the Old Republic looks great, man. I almost want to go back to the PC game because not only has that come out, but Diablo 3 just came out. So it makes me want to go back into the PC games and start checking it out and then check out the Old Republic. Every time I pass it, I pick up the box and check it out, and it looks really cool to me. So I don't know, how good it is or if it is or it isn't, but I'm sure it is,
We should do on SIT. We should get the Star Wars Connect game and do some Rancor Rampage or something and put it up on SIT.
I want to do that. I've seen that that was in a magazine. I just got Gamer Magazine where it shows, a screenshot from the Rancor and it shows them running through the Tatooine or whatever it looks like, and he starts, all the little characters are there running from him. Have you guys played that yet? Star Wars Connect?
I have. I played a little bit of the pod racing level, but that's about it. It's fun. It is fun.
It's tiring on your arms. I did one Boonta Eve pod race, and my shoulders hurt for 3 hours.
Yeah, I could see that.
So wait, when you're doing the pod race, what do you have to do? You have to actually move your hands.
You put your hands up, and you steer by pulling your hands back and forth, kind of like just like in the movie.
Oh, wow, man.
I could see you burning out your arms and stuff, though, if you did that. But hey, you're talking about shopping around and you see the Old Republic on the shelves and stuff, and it makes me remember stories that I've heard on Jay and Silent Bob Get Old about you and Kevin going on these early morning toy runs for the comic book shop, for Kevin's comic book shop. You guys would go out and try to find stuff that they could sell at the actual shop itself. And could you tell us a little bit about those stories? And like, did people freak out seeing you guys like in the aisles of Toys R Us and places like that?
No, you know what? I think it was way too early. Like we would be there right when the doors open. And I just think most people there, that were waiting there were too busy wanting the other characters. I think some of the employees would be like, oh, wow, you guys are that guy, which would be awesome when it did happen, when they would recognize us, because then we'd ask, if they started talking to us and stuff, we'd be like, hey man, can you look in the back if you got any new boxes, because this box here only comes with one Darth Vader, but 4 Leias and 4 Lukes, but it only has one in each box. So of course that already, someone already came in and bought it last night. Can you see if there's any more in the back? And they used to go and they'd be like, oh, we have 2 brand new boxes. And we'd be like, grab the 2 Darths for us. So stuff like that. And I remember like going, and one of the awesomest ones was when they first came out with the Han and Tauntaun, the
12-inch
yeah,
one.
the 12-inch one. And each store would only let you buy, like each person could have one, and that was it. So I remember we went in there and Kevin and I both got one. And then one of the kids was like, hey, look, we'll get you another one. So we got to get 3 of them, and people were there lined up for them. And we got there, and I swear we bought them for $50 or whatever it was. And I remember we went back, and Walter, I think the next day, had them up for like $150 or $200, and they like sold like the next day. Like people wanted them so bad, it was crazy. But it was so much fun. Like the rush of trying to get the stuff, and then getting to see that, like not only getting it, but then seeing like the next day it like being so, people wanted it so bad that, they're like, oh, all the stores are out of stock, and I really want this, so I'll pay double for what it was and stuff, So, I mean, it was a big rush, that getting all the Star Wars stuff that they had out for a bit, the Star Wars and just the different, Justice League figures, and I still, every time I go in the store, I still look around at the toys because I really would love to still collect, but since I've been married, like I had to stop because I had stuff all over the shelves and all over my room and stuff, and it started pouring out into the living room, and stuff would be in the office, in the bedroom, in the living room, and she got pretty annoyed and started asking me to, stop putting that up. And she let me keep up a Batman and Rob, like I had a Batman, Two-Face, and I think it was a Robin, like frame pictures, cartoon animation cells or whatever, and she let me keep them up in the living room for a while. But anyway, my point is I love toys, and I still want to collect, because now I feel like they just keep coming out. Like the Star Wars toys now are awesome. Like the new Millennium Falcon is like bigger and there's more compartments. Now they have like the dioramas, like, if you buy the Star Wars pod racer with this and that, you can like open up the box and cut out the back, the back of it is like the little planet and the mountains, and there's so much cool stuff now. I love it, man. I'm shocked though they haven't remade the Death Star with the trash compactor.
Yes.
I don't know why they don't have that. And same with G.I. Joe. Like, I used to collect G.I. Joe, and they had the big space shuttle and the big freaking aircraft carrier and the G.I. Joe headquarters. They make all the figures again and all the cool, like, tanks and boats and all that stuff. But they haven't made, I feel like Star Wars and G.I. Joe haven't made any of those bigger, items, like the bigger headquarters or the Death Star or any of that cool stuff.
They say, market research leads us to believe that children of today don't want the big play sets. But I find that so hard to believe. when you're talking about that Death Star, did you have that when you were a kid growing up?
No, my buddy had it though, and I loved it. I used to go mess with it all the time. Like the cool thing was, growing up, I lived with like my aunt and my mom, and I had a different childhood. So I didn't really have many toys, but I had a friend, and he had two brothers, and the mom seriously had to buy each one of them the same thing because they'd fight over it. So I'd open up my Christmas presents, and maybe I'd get like, a freaking Huffy bike and like a bad T-shirt and pair of socks. Then I'd run over to my buddy's house, and I swear he'd have the new AT-AT, the Millennium Falcon, the Death Star, he would get everything, and not only would he get it, his brother would get it, and his younger brother would get it. So I would just sit there and play with them for hours and all their toys. But I don't believe that kids don't want that today, because even like, have you seen Lego has a Death Star, which is pretty amazing.
Oh, the Lego Death Star is insane.
The Lego
it's like $500.
Legos today even is great, but I didn't know they actually did research, and you're saying you have read somewhere that they said kids today don't want the big stuff?
Yeah, this is true. I've actually heard this from people who work with Hasbro, where they say that kids today just don't want the play sets. They build their own is one of the reasons I've been told. Secondly, that there are price points that make things like that unattainable for kids nowadays. That I find hard to believe because I see stuff on the shelves all the time that costs a fortune that I can't afford. Not, nevertheless a kid, but to me, that was the best at Death Star because you really like immersed yourself in the film and the environment and everything. And it was all right there. You've practically felt like you were in there with the action figures.
Oh yeah, man! You put them in the trash compactor, start closing it up, and you got the creature's eye coming out and shit and stuff. And they had little foam like as the garbage. And then remember Yoda's hut? How awesome was that? The little like the quicksand. You could put the guy. Oh, it was amazing, dude. Now I feel like going out to Toys R Us and buying some toys.
The unfortunate thing about both those sets, the foam in the trash compactor and that foamy mat that made, that was the quicksand on the Yoda playset, rarely will you find that stuff still existing today because like the chemical compounds all broke down over time and that stuff actually melted, a lot of that foam and stuff. I think if you had it now and you like squeezed it, it would turn into oil.
Say that you're saying that if you found someone selling that online or something, you could get it probably, but all that stuff wouldn't be any good because the foam breaks down.
I guess it depends on what sort of environment it had been stored in for all these years, but it would be rare to find that stuff actually still intact. However, I think I still have a few little pieces of the foam from the trash compactors still around that haven't like completely disintegrated.
You got to go cut up like a mattress pad or something and throw it in there.
Well, we get cut up these little windbreaker pieces on the microphone we're talking on right now. We get cut up.
That would work.
All right, look at this thing.
Like exactly. I'm looking at the same thing. Hey, Jay, there was something you did on Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, and it influenced a little segment we did. I hesitate to say we ripped you off. But my wife came home with a gift for me one day. She handed it to me just as a joke. It was Star Wars Mad Libs. And she goes, that's something you can do on the show. And I said, yeah, but I'm going to be ripping off Jay and Silent Bob because Jason Mewes showed up one day and he had Star Wars Mad Libs.
But it's fun, right? Have you done it?
Yeah, we did it once with Ashley Eckstein, who plays Ahsoka Tano on the Clone Wars. She filled out all the nouns and adjectives and everything. But I'm sitting here. I got it right in front of me. So I figure, hey, just for laughs, we got Jason Mewes on the show. Let's do a quick Mad Lib with you. Are you up for that?
Yeah, definitely. And just to say, I love Clone Wars. Do you not love it?
Oh, yeah. So you've been watching that, huh?
Yes, I'm catching up on the last season now. But, yeah, I really, really dig it.
Okay, cool. So, like I said, family show to a certain degree. Let's just say if you're going to use terms, let's avoid profanity. But if you want to use 12-year-old sort of poo-poo scatological sort of terminology, I'm cool with that.
Sweet.
All right. All right. First, I need a noun.
A noun. Duty.
Duty. All right. We are off to the races with duty. I need an adjective.
Oh,
Adjective.
Large.
Large. All right. JC getting in on the action. I need another adjective.
Slimy.
Slimy. An adverb.
Quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I need a person in the room. Let's just say JC.
JC.
This is not going to end well for me.
Okay. I need an adjective.
Stinky.
Stinky is good.
Stinky's good.
Stinky
Okay.
will work. Plural noun.
Sand people.
Yeah. Droids.
Okay, we'll use. We can use droid for the next one because that's a noun. And I need another noun.
Lightsaber.
Okay. Lightsaber, and then a plural noun.
Testicles.
Testicles. Good, good. See, now we're back on track. This is the type of stuff that I expect from Jason Mewes. Noun.
Boobies.
Perfect.
Or boob. How about just boob?
Just boob. Yes, just a singular noun, and then a verb. A verb.
Thrusting.
Perfect. Adverb.
What's an ad? Sorry, adverb is the actual act. It's like
It describes a verb. So
describes
like
a verb. So something.
Usually ends in
Silent.
Silently. Let's say silently.
Yeah.
Usually ends in ly adverbs. And then I need another one. Another adverb.
Quisitively.
Quisitively. Quisitively. Okay. And plural noun.
Let's say dogs.
Dogs. And then I'm going to fill out the last two, and I'm going to bleep these.
Okay.
I'm going to write verb fuck and adverb wildly. Now that's
Yes.
That's
I
right.
like
I did that to just make Jason feel like he's at home.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Star Wars Mad Libs with Jason Mewes. How to become a Jedi Knight. Want to be a Jedi duty? Follow these large steps. Number 1, find a Jedi Master. In order to become a slimy Jedi, a young Padawan or Jedi apprentice needs to learn from someone who has quickly mastered his or her training. Perhaps Master J.C. Reifenberg is available. Number 2, study the ways of the Force. It takes a lot of stinky patience and belief in the sand people around you, but a Padawan must understand the Force before he or she can really practice the ways of a Jedi droid. Make your own lightsaber. Find special testicles to place in your lightsaber's boob. Then commune with the Force to make it thrusting. Listen silently, finely, and most quisitively. Do as the older and wiser Jedi dogs tell you.
Even if they want you to fuck wildly. Oh, man. What's going on in that temple?
I think I thought that was sweet and sexy.
Sweet and sexy Star Wars Mad Libs.
Yes, Master J.C. Reifenberg. I like the Jedi droid, man. There has been no Jedi droid, right? Because a droid wouldn't necessarily have the Force, but if you could train him and put some Force juice in him,
some
right?
midichlorians
and juice pieces. Anyway, that's something we started here. The new Jedi droid.
And perhaps maybe we'll see that on a future episode of the Clone Wars. And maybe you can do the voice, Jay. You can do the voice.
I would love that, man. I honestly would love to do that. I'd be like, you must learn the ways of the Force. Biggie. Biggie.
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of the right people are listening to this show who could possibly make that happen. So let's get a Jedi droid on the Clone Wars, voiced by Jason Mewes, and I think that would be the world would be a better place, quite honestly.
Oh, it'd be awesome. Even if it was, yeah, or a Jedi dog. They said that, so we got to see now. Like Superman had his crypto. Maybe we can get a Jedi dog too. So Jedi dog with the droid, 2 new characters that could be on the piece on the Clone Wars.
We haven't really had dogs in Star Wars either, so you're really knocking the ball out of the park here right now. This is a great brainstorming session we're having. And we got to get to the right people at Lucasfilm to pitch them on this. A Jedi droid with a dog.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, we have proof of where that idea came from, too. So if it suddenly shows up, it'll be like, wow, where'd that come from? Well, we have the proof right here. We have recordings. So
timestamp
Jay,
it.
Timestamp it and put it in a vault. All right, Jay, before we let you go, there are a few Star Wars questions we like to ask our guests. This is sort of our Inside the Actor Studio segment of the show where we have these questions. Everyone gets the same questions, and the answers are usually pretty different. I'm going to start off with the first one. What is your favorite line from a Star Wars film?
Well, the one I feel like I quote a bunch and it gets stuck in my head is like, you must learn the ways of the Force. When Obi-Wan's talking to Luke before he knows, really, and he's like asking for his help. And I would just say it's my favorite because it's the one that stands out in my head a ton and I want to say all the time.
There's never any problem with any Alec Guinness dialogue. If you say an Alec Guinness dialogue, a line of his dialogue is your favorite line, no matter what it is, you cannot go wrong with that.
I like it.
What Star Wars moment makes you smile?
Ooh, let's think.
When Han grabs Leia's boob by accident in Return of the Jedi.
No, yeah, but I wouldn't say that makes. You know what I think? See, there's a. Trying to think. See, I like whenever. You know what? It made me smile is when they show with the newer one when they started showing when they got to see all the Chewies. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, in Revenge of the Sith on Kashyyyk.
Yes. When all of a sudden, because you get to see the first 3 movies, you get to see all the Chewbacca the whole time, and you're like, oh man, if only there was more Wookiees.
You're pretty cool with the prequels, then, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, it was cool. Again, to me, it was stuff that was missing. I got to see, like that. So yeah, I mean, I definitely have no problem with it.
So a bunch of Wookiees hanging together puts a big grin on your face, right?
It does.
All right. Okay. Opposite end of the spectrum. What Star Wars moment makes you sad?
Oh, when Ben dies, right? When Obi-Wan Kenobi gets killed, sort of gets killed, right? Because he just disappears.
Yeah, he becomes more powerful than you can possibly imagine. But it's still sad you don't know that at the time.
Yes, no. So when I was watching and I saw that, it made me really sad.
I think the undervalued one is when Biggs dies at the end. You don't really know Biggs in the, until you've seen like the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray. But I always had a soft spot for Biggs Darklighter.
Well, it seemed like that moment in the film, too, just with the John Williams cue and the reaction from Mark Hamill in the cockpit there. It feels like it's a heavy loss. But if you're just watching the film as it is, without those deleted scenes, without any knowledge of the Biggs character, you're kind of a little puzzled. Like, why does Luke even care? I mean, you see him and Biggs have a little bit of a reunion there in the hangar.
But that's special edition. So, I mean, pre-special edition, you didn't know that there was that deep of a relationship.
No, they do. They do have that reunion in the hangar, though, where you're aware of the fact that Luke did know one of these pilots. That was included in the original. The only part that they added was when the
Red Leader joins them, and Luke's the best pilot. Yep, sir.
Oh, you're right. Oh, my gosh, that's right.
Yeah, so that did, but that did add a little bit more to the Biggs character. But good one, JC. Jay, who is your favorite Star Wars character?
Oh, I would say Darth Balls.
No, not the favorite character that you played. Who's your favorite character from the Star Wars films?
I would say Darth Maul is definitely one of the cooler characters for sure. But my favorite character, I would have to say, is again, I would have to go Chewbacca.
Chewbacca, okay.
Yeah, I know he doesn't talk much or anything, but I don't know. I sort of dig him. I dig him.
He doesn't talk much, so he's like Han Solo, Silent Bob.
Exactly. Right.
So that would make you Han Solo.
Well.
Well, now see, I thought you were going to say your favorite character is Obi-Wan Kenobi, Old Ben.
Old Ben. Well, no, I wouldn't say he's my favorite, but I think Chewie. There's something about Chewie because he's a Wookiee. What a Wookiee! What a Wookiee!
There you go. Clerks soundtrack.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, do you have a least favorite Star Wars character?
The character that you guys were just discussing, the pilot. I'm glad.
You were happy when he died.
Yeah, I was. He's not even a good character. No, I mean, I would say, let's say him.
Okay.
No love for Biggs.
Because I want to. Just because I don't like Biggs. That he even made people discuss if he had a good friendship or not with Luke and the whole deceiving people. I don't like them.
Okay, here's a good one. If you had a job in the Star Wars universe, what job would you like to have?
Ooh. Can I be a Jedi Master? Is that a job?
It is. Yeah, that's a job. That's a
council and stuff.
They gotta be paid something.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say, yeah. If that's not considered a job, then I would say operating probably like the. Well, you know what? No, I'd want to be. I'd want to operate like the one of the AT-ATs or something. One of the big machines that I can rock around.
Okay, cool. So
AT-AT driver. Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if being a Jedi doesn't count, but I feel like
it's good to have a backup plan in case you don't make it as a Jedi.
Yeah, and the Jedi, maybe I'd be like one of the teachers that trains the little Padawans in the school. You know what I mean? I'm in the Jedi training course. Yes. I'm like a teacher.
Your weekend vehicle is the AT-AT.
Yes.
Okay, and our final question. If another Star Wars movie was made and you landed a role in it, what would you want to hear George Lucas say when he says cut on your last scene? After that, you've wrapped on the set, things are over, and George walks over to you, you're done, you finished shooting your role in his latest Star Wars film, and then George approaches you. What would you like him to say?
Let us fuck.
Oh, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Mewes.
Fantastic.
That is great. And, of course, Jason, you could be heard all the time on the Smodcast network there at smodcast.com, or just check it out on Stitcher Radio or iTunes. I listen all the time. If you don't, what are you doing? You should be listening too. Cool, man. Well, thanks, Jay.
All right, man.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
What's he doing?
Shithead here watched Empire and Jedi last week, and ever since he's been trying to do the Jedi mind trick. Crazy fuck thinks he levitate shit with his thoughts. Knock it off.
The Force is strong with this one.
Dude, don't encourage him.